Right. Welcome back, guys. Uh, this is another video where I'm going to now do the example, right? How they bring, I want to show you how they bring questions in exam on this topic, the topic that we are doing, trial balance, but on this concept of errors that affect the agreement of a trial balance. Right, so when it comes to errors that affect the agreement of a trial balance, this is how they bring questions. Required to prepare a suspense account. Number two, correct the net profit. The unadjusted net profit. Adjusted net profit is 18,000. Right. So remember on my previous video, I said even if they say prepare suspense, even if there is no any requirement of saying any requirement of what of journal entry, you need to know that always for you to prepare a journal entry, for you to prepare a suspense, you need to do the journal entry. So the first thing that you want to do, we need to do the journal entry first. We need to do the journal entry first. We need to do the journal entry first. Debit, credit. So the journal entry that we are going to do for each and every transaction here. So the journal entry is not part of our question, but you need to know that you need to have the journal entry first for you to do the suspense. So the journal entry now, for us to do the journal entry, we need to follow what? We need to follow steps. I already shared with you steps that you need to do when you do the journal entry. So these steps, you follow them to each and every transaction, right? So the first transaction saying the purchase day book was overstated by 300. So let's now follow the steps. Step number one, let's identify two accounts involved from a transaction. That's step number one. So let's identify two accounts involved from this transaction. There's in the purchase day book, we get purchase. So there's purchase account. So you write purchases and what? So as you can see, there is no any other account. So according to Joule concept, for every debit item, there must be a corresponding credit item. So once you see one account affected, it means the second account is suspense. That's where you put suspense, all right? Suspense because there is only one account being affected here. Then step number two, if you still remember from the previous video, step number two, what are you going to do? You identify sides of each and every account there. So for purchase, where do we record purchase in the trial balance? We record them on debit side. Suspense, you put X because there is no side for suspense, right? So for purchase, we record them on debit side. Then step number three, determine whether there is an undercast or overcast for each and every account. Right. So when it comes to purchase, it's even indicated here that purchases was overstated. So you write step number three, overstated. Right. Then here you just put X, right? Because this is a suspense. Then number four, step number four. Remember, step number four is now saying apply the journal rule. Then the journal rule, you need to know it. Journal rule, if account is understated, to correct, record on the same side. But if it's overstated, to correct, record on the opposite side. So let's now apply the rule. This is purchases. They maintain a debit side, but it's overstated. According to the journal rule, if a debit item is overstated, to correct, we record on the opposite side. It means opposite side for debit is credit. So since purchase, they are now on credit, it means automatically sales, they are now going to debit side. So Jato Perak, very easy. So you are now saying on journal entry number one, you are saying our answer, this is our final answer. So we are going to debit suspense. Always you start with the account that we put on what? On debit. So it means we are going to say suspense. How much is the amount from the transaction? 300. So we are going to debit suspense 300 and credit purchase. Every time when you write an account to be credited, you write mukati muno. You put it here, not here. You unoita kakupinza mukati muno kuti purchases. Like this, 300. If narrations are not required, we have to underline up. You need to pay attention if narrations are required or not. If narrations are not required, we have to rule off. Right? But if narrations are required, narrations tungozitaura kuti chichakaitika of which watozvitaura panapa ndo narration yacho ichirapa. So here unongonyora kuti kana wanzi narration irikudikana, you just write purchases were overstated. That's the narration. So once you follow those steps, your life will become very, very easy. So this is journal entry number 1 for purchase, right? The guide dzime pano tite those of space. Tite number 2. So you need to follow my steps, right? Let's go on number 2. A payment from Tino of $150 cash was treated as a payment from Tina. If you still remember yesterday, this is error of commission. Once one gonna to mazita out chetu, it's an error of commission. And it's right. So let's identify 2 accounts involved. Tina Tino and what? And Tina. Right. Tina Tino and Tina. So paunoona error of commission. Since error of commission deals with names of people, the first thing, even if you errors, whenever you see a question name as one, whenever you see a question involving names of people, you need to first know who is Tino, who is Tina. Are these debtors? Are these creditors? So a payment from, so it means these are our customer. So these are debtors. So Tino is a debtor, Tina is a debtor. So you need to know that once you see names of people, yes, you can treat as Tino and Tina, but remember in the trial balance, there is no Tino, there is no Tina. There is debtors, there is creditors. So you need to know who is Tino, who is Tina. So both of these ones, these are debtors, right? So this will help you on stage number 2, step number 2, because we want to determine the side. So since we said Tino and Tina, these are debtors, so it means they maintain debit side. They maintain debit side. They maintain debit side, right? Then step number 3, we want to see what happened. Did we understate? Did we overstate? So we are saying a payment from Tino of $150 cash was treated as a payment from Tina. So Tino is the one who paid us. So we're supposed to do what? We're supposed to debit cash, right? Because he paid with cash. We're supposed to debit cash and credit Tino, but we do not do that. Rather, we debited cash and credited Tina. So we treated as Tina is the one who paid. So we want to reverse that. So we are going to what? For Tino is the person who paid us. So Tino we are going to what? To credit Tino, but Tina we are going to So it means Tino we want. Tino we overstated. We overstated. Then this one we understated. All right, we understated. Right. So number 4. Once a debit, we are now applying the rule, right? The journal entry rule. Once a debit item is overstated, to correct, we are going to put on the opposite side. We are going to put on the opposite side. So debit side, the opposite side is what? Is credit side, right? Then for Tina, we understated. So we are going to put on the, what is this? Same side, which is what? Which is debit side. Right, so we are done. So what are we going to do on number 2? We are going to debit Tina We are going to debit Tina by how much? By 150. And credit, remember, chatino credit atinoisa mukati. And credit tino $150. Narrations are not required. Narrations are not required. Then number 3, let's erase this. Right, then number 3, discount allowed worth 120 was treated as discount received. Right, so let's follow this step, the steps, right? Step number 1, let's identify 2 accounts involved from this transaction. So we have discount allowed, and what? And discount received. Discount allowed and discount received. Let me write in full so that, right, we have discount allowed and discount received. Right, so these are the 2 accounts involved from this transaction. Then step number 2, let's identify sides of these. Right, discount allowed is an expense, debit side. Discount received, 11, credit side. Then step number 3, let's see whether we understated or we overstated. Right, so we are saying discount allowed worth 120 was treated as discount received. So it means discount allowed was understated because we did not record it. So discount allowed was understated. Then discount received was overstated. Right, so now number 4, we are now applying the rule. If a debit item is understated, to correct the error, we debit same side. But if a credit item is overstated, to correct the error, what are we going to do? We put on opposite side, which is debit side. So you need to be very, very much careful with this type of transaction, where everything, the final answer, they will go on the debit side. On credit side, there must be something. It means suspense account will be, we'll put suspense account. So on debit side, we are going to put discount allowed by the amount from the transaction, how much? 120. Then also on debit, we are going to put discount received. How much? Same amount, 120. So it means, according to Joe concept, on credit side, there must be something. It means credit side suspense. How much is the suspense? We are adding 120 plus 120 is 240. So I hope this type of error is not new to you. So that's how you treat it. So mostly they do these 2, discount received and discount allowed. Purchase returns and purchase returns and sales returns. They also do commission received or commission payable, rent received, rent payable. Mostly, once you see those an error, a transaction where there is an error for those two things, ziyakuti mostly answer yacho inofanira kubuda yakadai, right? That mostly, not always. Right, then number 4, right, number 4, a purchase of motor vehicle worth 1,500 was recorded in the motor vehicle motor repairs account. So let's remove this. Right, step number 1, let's identify 2 accounts. When we purchase an asset, we don't write purchase account. Please, you need to know this. When we purchase an asset, we don't write purchase account. We write asset account. So here there is motor vehicle account and motor repairs account. Motor repairs account, right? Then number 2, let's identify sides. Motor vehicle. Remember, this is error of principle. If you understood the previous video, once a capital expenditure recognizes revenue expenditure, we agreed that that's error of principle, right? So motor vehicle, we record it on debit side. Motor repairs also debit side. So what happened to motor repairs? What happened to motor vehicle? That's step number 3. So motor vehicle, we purchased it, but we recorded in the motor repairs. So motor vehicle, we understate, then motor repairs we overstate, right? Then what are we going to do? Let's apply the rule. If a debit item is understate, to correct record on the same side, debit. If a debit item is overstate, to correct record on the opposite side, credit. So what are we going to do? Final answer, we debit motor van. Motor vehicle account by how much? 1.5. And credit what? Motor repairs. Motor repairs 1,500. Please, this is not a style of saying the debit item is like it's here, but the credit item is inside. It's not a style. This is what you need to do when you do this journal entry. Something that we are going to post on the debit side must be outside here, then this one must be inside, as you can see here, right? Then after that, let's now do number 5, transaction number 5. So once you follow these steps, your journal entry will come nicely and your suspense account will come very, very nicely. So please, you need to invest your knowledge in these steps before you do the journal entry. Then number 5, a payment of 170 to Jinga Trading was debited in the bank account and credited in Jinga's account. We agreed yesterday that once you see something that was supposed to be debited but was credited, and something that was supposed to be credited and was debited, it means that's complete reversal of entry. One thing about complete reversal of entry, you need to know that in the journal entry, you multiply the answer, you multiply the figure by 2. Once you identify this is incomplete reversal of entry, you are no longer using the figure that is there in the transaction, you multiply it by 2. Right? But you just know once you see complete reversal of entry, just multiply the answer by 2. Right? The first one is to cancel. The second one is to write to do the correct thing. But just also demonstrate when most. But for now, just know that. So this is error of incomplete reversal of entry. So let's identify 2 accounts. A payment of 170 to Jinga. So once we paid using what? Bank. So there's bank account and Jinga. Jinga is our creditor. You can write Jinga or creditor because a payment to remember it goes hand in hand with the creditor. From goes hand in hand with the data. Know those tips. From goes hand in hand with data. To goes hand in hand with creditor. Right. So we have banking, we have creditor. Then number 2, what are we going to do? We identify sides. So bank is an asset, debit. Creditor, liability, credit side. Then number 3, undercast or overcast. So we are saying a payment of 170 to Jinga Trading was debited, right? Was debited in the bank account. Was debited in the bank account and credited in the Jinga's account. What is normal when we pay? When we pay, we credit the bank, but as we debited it. So it means our bank was overstated. Our bank was overstated. Then once we pay a creditor, we're supposed to debit it, not to credit it, but we credited Jinga. So it means we also overstated. We also overstated. So what are we going to do? Right. So bank debit side. Once a debit side is overstated, record on the credit side. Once a credit item is overstated, to record on the opposite side, debit. So what are we going to do? We debit creditor, which is Jinga, but 170 times 2. 170 times 2, then 170 times 2 are 14, 2, 3, 340. So we are going to use 340. Then here on credit, it's what? The bank 340. Right. So we are done with our journal entry. But remember, this is our journal entry is not part of our requirement. We were just doing this for us to be able to take all the marks to score all the marks from the suspense account. Yes, you might say, oh, the process is long. That's accounting. That's why uchiona kuti paper 1 kuna anondiziva ndichiexplaina, you need to double your effort yaunoita kupaper 2 uchinyora paper 1. Yekuzviitira for 1 mark, but that 1 mark ndo inoita kuti uite A, ndo inoita kuti uite B, ndo inoita kuti uite C, ndo inoita kuti uite U. So we want that 1 mark. Right. So now we have our journal entry. We can now do our suspense account. So let's do it in the next video, because this one is now becoming too long. Yo